Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. My name is Mo, and welcome to the post-match live analysis where we analyze Barcelona matches as soon as they end. Today, we're starting late because I did the watch-along, and then after that, I had to leave home and run some errands. But now I'm back home, ready to discuss today's defeat at the hands of Real Sociedad, because today Barcelona lost at Anoeta 2-1. An incredibly unlucky loss because no matter what Barcelona did, the ball just did not want to go in. Now, we'll talk about that a little bit later when we analyze the team itself. But what I do wanted to start with is, of course, now Barcelona are only 1 point ahead of Real Madrid. You know, Barcelona are still at the top of La Liga table. But, of course, Real Madrid did win their respective match yesterday against Levante. In a chaotic Santiago Bernabeu, where the stadium just booed the players and Florentino Perez that entire match, where, of course, Real Madrid got a penalty kick, a questionable penalty kick that Kylian Mbappé scored. But nonetheless, Real Madrid did win against Levante. And since Barcelona lost today, then Real Madrid have shortened the distance between them and us to only 1 point. Now, this is a little bit unrealistic to me, or a little bit difficult to believe, because if you look at Barcelona and Real Madrid, you know, Barcelona being a much better team, a team that plays as a team, a team with a clear idea, a clear strategy on how to play, a team that's very solid, as opposed to Real Madrid, where they are complete in shambles, very chaotic team with no ideas or no plans on what to do. I mean, and you look at the two, and it's hard to believe that Barcelona are only 1 point ahead of Real Madrid. You know, for someone, for example, that doesn't watch the La Liga, they look at the table, they're like, wow, Barcelona are only 1 point ahead of Real Madrid. They must be like, you know, the two teams must be very close to each other and as far as quality and play, but that's not the case at all. You know, Barcelona are miles and miles ahead of Real Madrid. They're so much better than Real Madrid, and yet we're only 1 point ahead, which is absolutely difficult to believe. But of course, the silver lining is, even though the distance has shrunk from 4 to 1 points, look, at the end of the day, we're still at the top of La Liga table, and at the end of the day, the La Liga trophy is still in our hands, right? We only have to depend on ourselves. We don't have to depend on anyone else. We don't have to worry about other teams dropping points, drawing, losing, whatever. As long as we continue to do our job, we can, you know, continue to aspire to win this La Liga table. So yes, the distance has shrunk, but at the end of the day, it's still in our hands. We only depend on ourselves. We don't depend on the results of other matches. And I wouldn't be too worried because, look, La Liga season is long, and Real Madrid are going to drop more points. There's no other way around it. Real Madrid are going to drop more points because that team is in absolute shambles. I mean, that team, it's a fractured locker room where every player is playing for their own glory, not for the team or for the colors or for the crest. It's a locker room where they just fired their coach, Xabi Alonso, and they brought in Arriola. That looks like he's just a Florentino puppet. So Real Madrid are going to drop a lot more points. But even if they don't, as long as we do our job, La Liga title is still in our hands because we're still at the top of La Liga table, and it still depends completely on us. So before we start tearing everything down and worrying and blah, 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 I'd say calm down. We're still in first spot, and this title completely depends on what we do, not on the results of other matches. But anyways, now we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the actual match. And as always, I do like to look at the lineup first, and then I'll talk about the general sensations of the team, and then we'll talk about specific players. But this is the lineup that Hansi Flick chose for today. Of course, some rotations because we do have the Champions League match in a few days. So thinking about the Champions League match, there were some rotations. Of course, Joan Garcia in goal today. Jules Koundé and Balde are two fullbacks. Pau Garcia and Eric Garcia going back to this pairing of center backs. Fermin Lopez, Frankie de Jong, and Pedri in the midfield. And then up front, Dani Olmo, Lamine Yamal, and Ferran Torres. Now, this was kind of like the setup, but I think as the match progressed, it was more of Fermin Lopez acting as a right winger, where Lamine Yamal coming more through the middle. Dani Olmo was also coming more through the middle, and Balde was kind of occupying the entire left flank. So it was a different setup as the match went by, but this is the lineup that Hansi Flick chose for today. Now, as far as the match itself, let me start by saying this. A lot of people are going to want to look for blame today. Some people are going to want to blame the referees, that the referee screwed us. Some people are going to want to blame the defense. Some people were blaming Jules Koundé. Some people were saying, oh, it's because Rafinha was not on the field. And I want to stop you right there. I want to stop you right there and implore you, to just don't. Because today, there's nothing and there's no one to blame. Okay? Today, we were simply unlucky. That's it. There's no more analysis. There's no more thinking about it. It's pure bad luck. That is all. Now, I know we're all disappointed with this loss because Barcelona did play better. Barcelona did dominate this match. We had so many chances that we wasted, and it's very difficult to stomach a loss where you know you were much, much better than the opponent. And it makes it, of course, even more difficult when you realize you drop points and the distance between you and second place shrunk. And as a result of this disappointment, you know, it's human nature to try to scapegoat, to try to look for a reason, to try to look for someone to blame or something to blame. And I'm here to implore you, don't. It's not the defense. It's not Koundé. It's not Rafinha that wasn't on the field. It's not the refs. It's simply bad luck. Not much more to it. And don't get me wrong, I'm usually the first one to say we need to analyze what happened when the team loses, because in defeat is where you grow. In defeat is where you learn from your mistakes. In defeat is when you get better. So yes, whenever the team loses, I'm the first one to say, all right, we cannot use excuses. We cannot use the referee as an excuse or this or injuries or this or that. We have to analyze exactly what happened, figure out what the mistakes we made, learn from those mistakes, and to make sure we don't repeat them and we can grow and develop. But today, it's not that day. Today is not a day that we had to do a reflection on how the team played or didn't play or what mistakes was made, because today it was pure bad luck, which it happens. So today, instead of doing a reflection and a reflection about what the team did or didn't do, today is more of a reflection of, hey, this shit happens. Okay? This is football. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you're the much better team and you still lose. It happens. It happens. Today, there's nothing to take away from today's match. There's nothing that we could say, wow, the team should have done this or done that, or this guy effed up, or this guy didn't do his job. Today, it was purely bad luck. One thing maybe we should review is how fast Real Sociedad scored the second goal, because Barcelona equalized. And I think that's maybe one thing that we could look back and analyze, look at the tapes, what went wrong, why did Real Sociedad score so fast? I mean, we're still watching a replay from Barcelona's goal when the second goal came. But besides that, there's nothing more to analyze here. Today, we were unlucky because today Barcelona were infinitely better than Real Sociedad. Barcelona dominated the match. Barcelona created chance after chance after chance. Barcelona did a good job with the high press. Barcelona did a good job with the offside trap. Barcelona did a good job moving the ball. Barcelona did a good job combining, creating plays. The team did a good job all around. But sometimes the ball just doesn't want to go in. I mean, for Christ's sake, we hit the post 4 times. Dani Olmo hit it twice. Koundé hit it once. Lewandowski hit it once. We had 2 goals ruled offsides. We had a penalty kick ruled offsides. I mean, today, the ball just didn't want to go in. And that happens. That happens. This is why, of course, it's important to build cushions, because there's always going to be that match where you're the much better team, where you do everything right, and you still lose. And this is what cushions are for, right? Barcelona went on a run of 11 victories in a row, matching the record of Luis Enrique from a 2015-2016 season. Unfortunately, that record will stay there for Hansi Flick. But this is why you build cushions, because every now and then you're going to get a match like today. And today we got it. We had a cushion of 4 points. It drops to 1, but we're still at the top of La Liga, because that's what cushions are for. Because sometimes, no matter what you do, the ball just doesn't want to go in and you still end up losing. So please, I implore you, don't participate in this blame game. Don't try to blame the refs or the players or this or that. Today, we were simply unlucky. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Now, if today's loss was as a result of the team maybe not playing with the intensity that was needed or not doing things right, of course, I would be really mad. But since that wasn't the case, well, there's not much to say. Now, let's look at the players, because I do want to mention a few players in today from today's lineup. Of course, Lamine Yamal today was absolutely spectacular. I think this is one of the best matches of Lamine Yamal in the most recent weeks. I mean, Lamine Yamal was just destroying Real Sociedad's defense. I mean, there was one play where he had 4 players on him, 4 players, and he got rid of all 4 of them and then put in an incredible pass. I think it was to Fermin Lopez. Lamine Yamal should have had 3 assists because he had some incredible passes, leaving players one. I mean, he had one pass to Dani Olmo where that left him 1v1 against the goalkeeper and he missed. I mean, Lamine Yamal was absolutely spectacular. Definitely the MVP of the match for me. Incredible match by Lamine Yamal. Also, Dani Olmo, really bad match by Dani Olmo. Missed so many chances. Ferran Torres continues to make the case that he is not the center forward for Barcelona. I think Ferran Torres likes to, keep saying that he believes he can be the center forward, the replacement of Lewandowski. I think if Ferran becomes the replacement of Lewandowski, we're in very, very deep trouble. I mean, he's a good rotational player, but there's no way in hell. I mean, Ferran Torres was non-existent today. He had, I think, one chance that he wasted, and then, of course, he had, again, great passes by Lamine Yamal filtered to him for him to just miss it with his bad control. Very good match by Frankie de Jong today. Very active with the defense. Pedri helping a lot with the attack, but again, nothing we could do was working. Fermin Lopez, good match by him today. And besides that, I don't think there's anything much more to say. We saw Joao Cancelo come on for the first time since he signed for Barcelona a second time. Really bad few minutes by Cancelo. But again, I expected that, as I said before. I don't know why we signed Cancelo. We saw how terrible he did under Xavi Hernandez. Let's hope this time is different, but I don't know. I don't see it. I don't understand it. Now, to be fair for Cancelo, of course, he hasn't played in several months. And he just arrived and only trained a few times with the team. So maybe that's why. But again, I don't see it. I said Cancelo sucks, and then people were unsubscribing to my channel because unfortunately we have a lot of snowflakes out there that just simply cannot handle different opinions. But today, I mean, you saw. Hopefully things change, but today, Cancelo, I mean, gave me the same sensation as he used to give me under Xavi Hernandez. Marcus Rashford scored Barcelona's goal, but besides that, he didn't really contribute much, didn't really change anything as far as Barcelona. And then that's it. Again, there's not much to say because today was simply bad luck. I mean, we lost. The team played well. The team dominated. The team maintained possession. I think we had over 25 or 29 shots. Barcelona were infinitely better than Real Sociedad, but unfortunately the ball didn't want to go in. We lost, we dropped points, but we're still at the top of La Liga table, and La Liga is still in our hands. Anyways, let's do a couple more comments, and then we'll end this because it is getting pretty late, and tomorrow I do have to work. But Java the Hut says, this loss shows how important Rafinha is to this team. Again, like I said, this loss doesn't really show anything besides the fact that, hey, this is football, and sometimes, no matter what you do, you lose. Bisca Michael says, with or without the VAR decision, I'm not going to lie, we should have won anyway. We were clearly the better team, 100%. We created so many chances. We had so many shots. We should have finished them. The ball didn't want to go in. It is what it is. Always Django says, ain't no way Ferran is going to be our starting 9 next season. God, please. Yeah, God, definitely not. And then user by 9PT2 says, we have a toothpick as a striker in Ferran Torres. Anyways, that is all. I don't want to do it I don't want to make this stream any longer than it needs to be. It is pretty late. So thank you guys for tuning in again. Of course, we do have the Champions League match in a few days. We'll see how we do there. Hopefully we'll do better. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. If you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure you do. If you haven't commented yet, make sure you do. And of course, drop your comments. Let me know what your thoughts are about Barcelona's match today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow is the podcast. And as always, now and forever, and especially in defeats, Visca Barça.